Keto and crime, keto and crime. We uncover the grime on keto and crime. Keto and crime, keto and crime. Now is the time for keto and crime.
Hey everyone, Tracy here from Keto and Crime. Thank you so much to every single one of my patrons and channel members. You make this possible. And you're one of the reasons I do this. And I thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if I haven't said it before, thank you. I'll sing it. Thank you. Thank you for hanging in there with me and letting me geek out, not making fun of me like a lot of other people do, because I like weird stuff about crime and dark history. Re, re. Thanks, everyone. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Keto and Crime. Today, I've got my requested video on the world of alternative medicine, or as I like to call it, woo. Was a very interesting thing to research, absolutely. Oh, and I want to tell you, we're still getting construction around here from the remains of the tornado that happened before Christmas, so hence the headphones to cut down on some of that noise, or else I'd never be able to film if I didn't just go ahead and do it. So I apologize if you hear saws or anything in the back. But, so, what is alternative medicine? In a nutshell, alternative medicine is anything that claims to have a medicinal effect on humans, animals, whatever it's targeted for, that's outside what we know as regular mainstream medicine that has been vetted and tested, and there are peer-reviewed scientific studies saying that it works. So within the world of alternative medicine, there could fall many of the supplements and vitamins and minerals that people take on a regular basis. Now, I'm not talking about multivitamins and vitamins for specific issues such as vitamin D for mood. Those have been pretty well tested. I'm talking about, all the different supplements you might see gurus here on YouTube promoting to you, or those miracle take-all pills that you might see advertised wherever they advertise them. That's what I'm talking about, as well as things like, believe it or not, even weight loss gimmicks would fall into the world of alternative medicine because it's, claiming to have an effect on the human body. So those are kind of the ones that people never think of, but there's also the ones you do think about. Those therapies that claim to have a medicinal effect that haven't been properly vetted. Think of cuddle therapy. That's one that gave some laughs on my last live stream. Not saying that maybe it doesn't work. I just haven't seen a whole lot of scientific studies on it. Wasn't even aware it was a thing. But cuddle therapy, uh, sex therapy where you actually, do stuff with your therapist. Yes, that's a thing I was unaware of as well, but it's a thing. Um, Even something as well known as chiropractic actually falls into this realm. I'm not talking about chiropractic for back issues, leg issues, those kinds of things. I'm talking about when people say that chiropractic can cure just about everything by adjusting the back, that, or the spine. That's what I'm referring to. There's things like magnet therapy, uh, new age crystal therapy. There's so much that falls into this. The electronic massage shock therapy. There's so much that falls into this, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So with that being said, a special shout out to my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much. Those links are down below if you'd like to join them, and let's dive in. So as I said, alternative medicine is any practice that aims to achieve the healing effects of traditional pharmaceutical medicine, which lacks biological plausibility, untested, untestable. You remember a lot of these things like the supplements, it's only like people's testimonials because there's really no scientific way to test it, or proven or have been proven ineffective, yet people still buy them. So it comes under many different names: alternative medicine, complementary medicine, and integrated medicine, integrative medicine, or holistic medicine. So anything that comes out with that's probably that it's just not what would what we would know as Western medicine. Even some forms of Eastern medicine would fall into this. Things like acupuncture for certain illnesses. As I said, just like chiropractic, I think acupuncture has some benefits if it's applied in the right way. But just saying it's a cure-all, that's what I'm talking about. But that's kind of what uh, encompasses this, and it encompasses some things you'd never think of. I was actually surprised, but let's move on. So that first category, alternative medicine. Alternative medicine is loosely defined as a set of products, practices, and theories that are believed or perceived by their users or practitioners to have the healing effects of medicine that's often used as an alternative to conventional medicine. Even though there's some practitioners that say this is, used in conjunction, a lot of them say that it's better than regular scientific Western medicine. It basically falls outside the realms of physiology, biology, chemistry. It's something that has been totally untested because in lots of ways, like some of these supplements you see, there's not a whole lot of ways to test it because the ingredients are known, the elements that are in there on their own are known to be non-effective in certain things. So how would you actually test that? I mean, think about it. In the scientific method, you have a control group and a variable group, and in most of those, in one of those groups, they're given a placebo, and just by out of 100 people, even on a placebo, if they are thinking, the power of positive thinking, you can almost see enough of a null reaction to just giving a placebo in some of those groups. And so that is where these kind of fall, and that margin of error that you will see results, but you would get the same results if you took nothing, if that made sense. They kind of fall into that placebo effect. So to me, this is the most damaging type of the alternative medicine, and it ranges from everything to supplements to chiropractic and acupuncture for certain things to cuddle therapy for certain things to all the way to things you would never think of. Believe it or not, things like faith healing, spiritual healing, spiritual surgeries fall into this alternative medicine. Anything that is an alternative to conventional medicine. And often the people that practice these types of medicines prey on the most vulnerable among us, those that perhaps have been through the conventional medicinal track to treat whatever they have and have not found the relief or the cure that they seek. And so these people will prey on them, sucking them dry and leaving them. And that's the reason. If you haven't watched the Penn and Teller bullshit episode on alternative medicine, you should definitely check that out. If you have Hulu, I believe you can find it on Hulu or HBO or Showtime app, you can find it there. I highly recommend checking that out because the things in there will just absolutely blow your mind that some of these people do. And so to me, the designation alternative medicine is, or the category of alternative medicine is the most damaging just because it's woo, it's not proven, it's not effective, you could get almost the same effect by doing nothing. Now, some of these alternative things, like let's talk about chiropractic. Chiropractic has become more mainstream than any of these others types, even though now most practitioners of chiropractic medicine say it's complementary to whatever else you may already be doing, but a lot of them still say it can cure things that traditional medicine can't. So chiropractic would be an example of one of these that has gone more mainstream, even though some practices of it are not proven. In addition, you see some of these methods, some of the things like massage, like chiropractic adjustment, like acupuncture, now being taught in some medical schools. About 50% of American medical schools now teach some form of alternative medicine to go along with the more traditional route. Think of the difference between an allopathic doctor, an MD, and a osteopathic doctor, a DO. Both licensed medical doctors that can treat patients in much the same ways. The only difference is DOs take, I think, a semester or two of chiropractic and massage techniques where they can kind of treat what they call the whole body. So there's some benefits, like I said, but it's not a stand-all or cure-all, and that leads us into the next category of complementary or integrative medicine. And these are what would be considered an alternative or holistic type of medical treatment that is used in conjunction with what you might already be doing, such as acupuncture for the relief of nausea as that accompanies perhaps chemotherapy when it comes to cancer treatment, or acupuncture to improve circulation in somebody that's already being treated for cardiovascular disease. These things, and perhaps somebody is going to have back surgery might go to a chiropractor for immediate relief. So really, the two, alternative and complementary, can gray and cross over in quite a few spaces. It really has to do with how the medicine is applied, how the treatment is applied in this case. For example, Dr. Atkins, the creator of the Atkins diet, one of the first low-carb diets I think everyone's first low-carb diet. He actually ran the Atkins Center for complementary medicine, which not only did he use weight loss as a treatment for a lot of ailments, which in a lot of cases it can be. It can exacerbate, it can not only cause, it can also exacerbate illnesses that you may already have. And losing weight can complement any other treatments and maybe even reduce the need for those treatments. So not only did he do that, he also did vitamins, minerals, herbs. Again, these fall into the whole complementary medicine thing. I don't think anyone would say that taking a multivitamin or taking any vitamin that you've been chemically tested as being deficient in is not a bad thing. So that's part of his practice, is he tested people and gave them what they were lacking at a micronutrient level. So again, complementary. Now, the problem is with a lot of these things, you have to be very careful who your practitioner is, because if you're already on meds for an ailment, you don't want to take a supplement that's going to interact with that. So if you are going to go the complementary medicine route, I highly recommend you allow whoever one of your practitioners are on both sides to know what the other one's doing. That way maybe they can correlate, or at least make sure you're not getting something that's going to make you sick, because vitamin K did not play well with, the anti-nausea meds that your oncologist had you on. See what I'm saying? You have to make sure that if you're going to go down this path, you have to make sure that the two professionals know what the other one's doing to avoid any negative effects of it. I'm not saying all complementary medicines are bad if you can relieve someone's pain and not damage them and create problems. The only problem that I have with chiropractic is sometimes if you adjust something, then every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you adjust something and get rid of back pain, what if you now moved out of alignment? That's my only question when it comes to chiropractic. If there's somebody that goes to a chiropractor and would like to talk about positive effects of a chiropractor, let me know down below. I'm just saying, if you're going to go complementary, please make sure that the two professionals know what the other one's doing so you don't die. I'm just saying, as I like having you all around. The final two categories you'll hear is traditional medicine and holistic medicine. These are just rebrands of the whole alternative medicine thing. Traditional medicine would refer to alternative practices that, had their origins in the Orient. Acupuncture for one, herbal medicines for another. So these are just rebrandings. Holistic, again, talks about treating the whole person, and I'm not necessarily opposed to that. I mean, DOs do it. I've gone to DOs. I found most of them very professional, very good people. They do a great job. They're doctors. They're doctors just like your average MD. So you have to be really careful how these things are applied. If someone says they're a holistic doctor, doesn't necessarily mean they're bad and they're doing quackery. You just have to be knowledgeable, which is why I like to do these videos, and to make sure that you're not doing more harm than good. And also that you're not wasting your money on something that doesn't have an effect at all. So, why would we want to do that? And also, most insurances are not going to pay for any of this. I think they're only recently started paying for chiropractic and acupuncture. So the rest of this stuff's got a long way to go. So let's talk about practices that fall within this broad category that could fall under any of these categories that we've already talked about that are absolute tomfoolery. We've already talked about those that have some merit depending on their applications, such as herb and vitamin therapy, chiropractic, acupuncture. I don't want some mad acupuncturist trying to Wolverine me outside because I said that his or her practice was, that's not what I'm saying. They have some merit if they're applied correctly. But what are some stuff that's just absolutely tomfoolery? Let's talk about a few of them. The first comes to mind is Reiki. This is a belief system that all human things, behavior, ailments, movement are controlled by chakras. And this is a belief that these people who are licensed professionals and whatever quackery licenses these people can actually put their hands at centers in your body, and there's several of them, and realign or rejuvenate these chakras and cure you of everything. So basically, you're paying to be felt up. If you go to one of these, I would highly, highly recommend not going this route because even in the age of consent, I I just don't want you to pay to be felt up. I have a real problem with that. So avoid the practice of Reiki if you possibly can. If somebody mentions the word chakra travel right out of there. Please. Just avoid that. Never been proven, can't be proven. The next one would be a magnet therapy. These are people that believe that that, that the iron in our blood is actually like a metal component that reacts to the pull of a magnet. So they will have you wear magnets via arm bands, chest bands, leg bands, wherever your pain is that you don't have enough iron in that part, and these magnets will pull all that blood and all that iron into the part and heal it because your body does heal itself. And that's true. Your body will heal itself. The body is a tremendously adaptable thing. But they believe that magnets will actually pull your blood and the iron in it in and cure all. So basically, in their opinion, I could take a magnet if this was a magnet, and if I was, you know, foggy headed, I could put it on my head, and all the blood would rush to my head and the iron and give me, like, clarity. So I'm going to hold it here for just a second. I think I feel it. I think I feel it. I'm smart now, all thanks to a magnet. No, don't do that. But in this case, it's not really going to harm you. I'm just going to make fun of you if I see you walking around with magnets taped to you. So, would not recommend this type of treatment at all. Faith healing would be the next, and you've heard me talk about faith healers. And it's just absolute quackery. A lot of them have been busted for absolutely wiring up people in their audience so that they can hear what's going on with people so that that can be their, like, you know, in with those people. It's just, check out my videos on mega preachers. I'll put it right up here. And the kinds of trickeries they do in the realm of faith healing. It's all butkus. It's all butkus. If you believe in a higher being, and that higher being wants you, and that higher being actually exists and wants you to be healed, he will heal you. He or she will heal you. You don't need to go through, somebody that's going to hit you in the head and expect you to fall back. So this really goes beyond, in my opinion, just alternative medicine quackery to just shamanism and things like that. So healing you by magic. This would be the Christian version of that. Uh, also, in this category would be like the spiritual surgeries that you see done in a lot of voodoo type religions where they lay their hands on you and you see them literally blood and they pull stuff out and it's all just sleight of hand. They have something in their hand and they do it. That would also fall here. So if, again, in that premise, you're just paying to get felt up and have some really gross pig livers put on you so that they can pretend they're pulling them out. Now, if you think that's going to have some medicinal effect to your skin, hey, I don't know what you're into. Go for it. Just do it in a safe environment. But I would not recommend letting anybody do a fake surgery on you. In fact, spiritual surgeries was one of the things that the Love Has Won cult was famous for. And if you haven't seen my video on it, I highly recommend you check that up. But yeah, all this stuff falls into alternative medicine. And finally, the big one that people ask me about, cuddle therapy. Again, I'm not saying that the benefits of having someone hug you and hold you and cuddle you won't give you good, squishy feelings that might help you feel better, but do I think that actually heals actual mental illness? No, absolutely not. And I'm certainly not going to recommend going and paying for the privilege to have somebody like cuddle up to you. The same with the sex therapy. Okay, if you and your partner are into that, there are other ways you can take care of that without having to pay somebody to do it. You can, there's swingers, there's polyamory, there's all kinds of other ways you can get those needs met that won't cost you as much as $100 an hour to some professional to do it for you. Hey, again, free country. Do what you want. But I'm just here to warn you about this stuff. And that kind of ends my foray into the world of alternative medicine. There's not really a whole lot of history on this. This stuff has been around, Eastern medicine's been around since the dawn of time, pretty much. So all this stuff's been around a long time. So there's not really one person that brought this to the United States. It's come over in a lot of different ways from a lot of different people. And each one of these different forms of alternative medicine has its origins, but that would be way too much to delve into. But that's in a nutshell what alternative medicine is. So if you hear those buzzwords, alternative, holistic, uh, complementary, traditional, all that good stuff. I'm not saying it's bad on the surface, but investigate it. And if you start hearing them talk about chakras or spiritual surgery or anything like that, get out of there. Not gonna work. Not gonna help. And they're just gonna take your money. And don't let your friends or family that are, I know lots of times people are at the end of their rope with certain treatments sometimes, and they can get caught up in this, and that's the reason I do this. So if you have someone that's considering giving up their traditional medicinal route to go this route, show them this video. At least put the idea in their head so that they can make an informed decision. And with that being said, until next time, keto crime.